Hi, I'm Allison Sudich, and I'm going to narrate my evidence section for my unit plan on earth materials. The first scanned document that you'll see is observational notes for Student 1 and for Student 2. These were taken on my iPhone because I always have that with me in the notes section, and I printed it out for you. This is an early sample of Student Number 1's writing. I included it so you can see the progress that he made later on in his informational writing piece. In this early writing, a lot of run-on sentences, no punctuation. His paragraph sample is not even a collection of common ideas. It's just a bunch of small, short sentences. This is Student Number 2. These are observational notes I made on her throughout the lesson. Student Number 2 is an AIG student, and she was very happy to quickly move through all of her assignments and embellish them, and then pull out a book and read, reading to herself. So what I wanted to do with this student was to give her an opportunity to dig deeper in her studies. So I had used day 121 through 125 CMAP lesson required that we reviewed the genres, which included poetry, and she was very excited by this. So I used this to get her to dig deeper with the informational content. In our textbook, there was a story about a structural geologist, so I asked her to create an acrostic based on the story that she read about this structural geologist. She had a great time with it, as you can tell. Next is informational writing rubric. These are tools that I used to help the students when they broke out into their groups to provide feedback to each other, reading each other's work. I projected these up on the smartboard so that they could use these guides, which we had used previously, as a checklist to drive their input to the students, and also an editing checklist. This is a tool that I used from CMAP, also from the original CMAP Day 46 of informational writing. It was really just used as a review before we started the assignment. This is Student Number 2's. You can see, this is Student Number 1's informational writing, and you can see that he's hit many of the points on the rubric. He has an introduction. He did not really include a hook, but the paragraphs have real structure. He has difficulty still with punctuation, but his paragraphs are collections of ideas, and his sentences are much more complex. This is Student Number 2's. She hit all of the points on the rubric. She did a great job, great hook in her introduction. This was a draft. The next assignment was, this is the grading rubric for the rock cycle. After teaching this lesson, I found that the students all had a pretty good idea, but there were many points missing, so I ended up having to reteach it based on the drawings that they submitted. Next is, this is the rubric for the rocks and minerals assignment. It was a research project. Together with the technology specialist, she created this template for the students to use out of Microsoft Publisher that had all of the points. So they were basically going to do their research using note cards. And this is Student Number 1's example of his early writing. And what was interesting about this is that I think he struggled using the technology, because when you look back on his writing sample does not really reflect what's going on here in his first draft. I gave this back to him with notes and asked him to use the rubric to guide his second draft, which I was not able to finish with him because my student teaching was over. This is Student Number 2's finished product. This was the rubric that I gave her. And the last piece of this is the unit test, which I was required to give this specific test. Both students did very well on it. And the last piece of it is, this is my overall grading rubric. It has all the assignments with the objectives that I met, or that I had the students meet, and guided me in instruction. And this final piece is a collection of pages from their science journals. Thank you.